I'll record this session so that
What is that?
got a little bit of feedback. Happens whenever I turn on the recording part. So this session is being recorded so that Steve and Adam can still hear it.
Okay.
Now, because we're on a conference line webinar, there will be background noise, and the way to kind of minimize that is, if you can, please mute yourselves on your end unless you have a question. And if you have a question, feel free to just shout it out. Just join right in and just ask the question. Don't feel like you're interrupting me, because this session's purely all for you. Okay? So it's not being shared online with other groups or any other classes. It is purely for you. So any questions to start with? Okay. So first things off, hopefully everyone has had a chance to set up their Market Snapshot. Now, to get started in Market Snapshot, let me just double check here. Can everyone see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, you should be seeing what we call the Market Snapshot control panel. To start with Market Snapshot, there is a web page you might want to copy down. It's called topmarketer.net. Okay, topmarketer.net will bring you to the login screen, which is similar to Top Producer. It looks like this. It says Market Snapshot sign in. And you just enter your username and password. Like that. Now, I'm already set up. So first thing you see, if you're having trouble or you haven't had a chance to sign in yet, first thing you would see is the setup wizard, which looks like this. Okay? So you go through this, you fill in all your information, you can edit all of this here, and what this ultimately is how your branding appears on the Market Snapshots, top and bottom branding. Okay? The Market Snapshots are reports, and on the top of the report, this will show up. On the bottom of the report, this will show up. So that's what you're setting up.
Jason, we use the same username and password as we log into Top Producer?
No, not necessarily. I believe you may have been set up with brand new username and passwords for the Market Snapshot part.
Okay.
That's only important in the beginning. As I'll mention, you log in like this. You go through the setup wizard. So you fill in all of this. You enter your MLS credentials. You can send a test Market Snapshot right away. And when you're done, you're on the desktop or the summary page of your Market Snapshot. Now, the last thing you will need to do, or the most important thing you need to do, because you all have Top Producer, is under Setup, go to Top Producer 7i, 8i account, and make sure to enter your Top Producer login here. Because people can purchase Market Snapshot separate from Top Producer, that's why there's two separate logins. But if you do this one thing here, which is enter your Top Producer, the CRM, login through this page here, you'll actually be able to link the two together. Now I'm going to close the Market Snapshot summary, and it's not open here anywhere. I'm going to go to my Top Producer here. So this is the Top Producer dashboard. Once I link it up, once I enter my Top Producer login and hit save, now from here under Applications, I can click on Market Snapshot and get entered right into the Market Snapshot dashboard, basically. Okay, so if you go into Top Producer and you go to Applications and you try clicking on this, and it gives you this error message saying you have to purchase it, it doesn't mean you have to purchase it. You probably already have it. You probably have already purchased it. But the missing step is linking it together. Okay? And that, what I showed you earlier in Market Snapshot Dashboard, is what you do. You go to Setup, you click on 7i, 8i account, and you just basically set it up through there. Okay. Any questions so far? And again, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. Just jump in and interrupt. It's okay.
How do we get our topmarketer.net login and password?
Okay. If you already have an account, I believe we would have emailed it to you, I would say about a week ago.
Okay.
It depends on when you got it.
So if we don't have it, how do we get it?
You can call our customer care, or you can give me your name right now, and basically what I'll do is I'll make sure to send it to you after this webinar.
Okay.
Okay.
All of them. Greg Yoakum, Lisa, Teresa, and Grant.
And Grant.
I need it all. Brian.
So I got Greg, Lisa, Teresa, and Grant.
And Brian.
Awesome. And Brian.
Brian. Okay, so Brian, you're saying you didn't get a login?
Not to Top Marketer, no.
Okay. So I would look for an email from Top Producer, just in case. If you got it, great. If not, I'll make sure to send all of you your logins again. So I'll have it resent.
Thank you.
Okay. So, well, I would assume that most of you have not gone through the Setup Wizard if you don't have your login. So this is a good point to start at. So again, you go through the setup. This is your dashboard. When you come in here, it won't look like this. It'll be empty. So you won't have any new inquiries. You won't have recently viewed snapshots because you would have never used it yet. So all of this right here will be just empty. Now, once you start using it, once you start hitting this button called Create New Snapshot, then you will start creating snapshots and start sending them out. So that's basically where you want to start with. So you want to hit Create New Snapshot and start creating it for some of your contacts. Now, this is one way of creating a snapshot right from within Market Snapshot dashboard, but I'm going to close out of the dashboard and instead talk about how you use it with Top Producer. Now, does anybody here not have the CRM? Okay, looks like everyone has it. Since you all have Top Producer, they work really well together.
Hey,
yeah?
Jason, help us out here. I'm really old. What's CRM?
A CRM, you mean what it means or what the program is?
What are you asking it for specifically?
Oh, okay, Top Producer CRM is this system I'm in right now. It is, CRM basically means Contact Relationship Manager or Management.
Okay, that's clear. We all have Top Producer accounts.
Good. So, and if this doesn't look familiar, it's because I'm using the Obsidian theme, which is basically different from the Top Producer Blue. So this is what you normally are used to, if you haven't changed that already. So from within Top Producer, once you have Market Snapshot, things change a little bit. And what I mean by change is now when you click on a contact, let's say Brian and Linda here, in my follow-up coach here, you will see a button called Send Market Snapshot. If I click on any of my contacts and open them up, so let's hear Scott and Tina here, I click on View Contact, I'm inside Scott and Tina's record. I also have a button on the right, when I hit Perform Action, Create Market Snapshot. I also have the same button on the bottom right corner, the box called Market Snapshot Summary. So in various places, you're going to start seeing that pop up saying create a snapshot for this person. And I'm going to hit Create New Snapshot. And when I do it with a contact, it automatically fills in the details. So it knows it is for Scott and Tina. It's going to say Scott Aker. The email is for Scott and Tina at nowhere.com. Here's their address. Here's the details of the property already filled in. So it's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it's doing it automatically. Now, let's say Scott Aker is looking to buy a home. Well, I switch it. This report is for a buyer, and the criteria changes. Now, it's automatically going to fill in using the address of their address, but I can always just make it more generic and use a zip code instead. And I can change all this right here. I can go, 88800. I can use whatever zip code I'd like as long as my MLS can provide that information. And in this case, for this test case, I'm using the Northwest MLS. Okay. Now for you, you're going to use your board. If you have multiple boards you're a part of, then you're going to want to click on the MLS dropdown and pick the right board for that area. Now, this is I wouldn't say a generic, but the general market snapshot form. Okay? What do I mean by general? Well, it is a very basic criteria. It's going by zip code or address, your choice, and it's going by basic criteria like what type of a listing, price range, and minimum bedrooms and bathrooms. Okay? That's a general report, or the criteria for it. We have an option down below for an advanced one. So an advanced one opens up all the criteria you're normally used to from the MLS. But before I get into that, let me explain the bottom portion here. A market snapshot can be sent on a regular interval. It's designed to be a report that updates someone or hopefully triggers them to want to buy or sell homes. So depending on who you're talking to or who you're sending it to, you want to adjust these schedulings to fit them. Okay? The best market snapshot that can be created is one that's created by you. Okay? There's no automated system out there that knows exactly what someone might be looking for or have the expertise of what you know, because you're an expert in the area, right? But at the same time, you also have to look at the information relative to that person's needs. So if you're talking with a brand new lead and they said, okay, send me a market snapshot, I would default to 4 weeks, unless you know they're a hot buyer. Now, if it's a case of a hot buyer, I would recommend weekly. Now, if you're talking with someone, let's say you just listed their home, you sold their home, they've now moved to another house, or you help them buy another house, well, that might be something they're not going to want every 4 weeks. Quarterly or every 6 months, maybe even yearly, could be a service you provide to those past clients at that point. So depending on the type of client and who they are and where they're at, you're going to want to schedule these differently. Now, by default, you can set it up to be every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks. That's in the settings in Market Snapshot. So mine was set to every 2 weeks. So I'll set it to every 4 weeks for this person, and that doesn't change the default. What it does is it says for this person's report, this one report I'm sending, make it send every 4 weeks. And I can send Scott multiple reports. So I can finish this report, hit generate, and off it goes. It's going to keep sending every 4 weeks. And then I can go right back here and start another report up for him. Maybe Scott's looking to buy in 2 different areas, and I want to send him 2 different reports. Now, below that is something that we do on, I would say, on the side. So in addition to the reports, so this is not a setting for the report, but this is in addition to the weekly or biweekly or every 4 weeks reports, we also can do what your MLS does. Now, one of the reasons that you add someone into the MLS is to basically put them on alerts, property alerts. Now, it might be a different term for you, but property alerts are those emails that update someone as soon as a listing comes on, or something gets sold, or something changes price. So that's exactly the options we have here. We have just listed, price change, just sold. So if you are sending a market snapshot with this criteria, do you also want to send listing alerts as soon as it comes up? Now, what I mean by that are basically real time. You can see the option down here. Do you want to update them in real time whenever something like a just listed occurs? That means another agent has just put a listing on the MLS. It immediately emails them saying, hey, this new listing just came on the MLS. So you're familiar with the concept. I'm not going to continue from there. We also have another option, which is to summarize it. So every day, if there were changes, like listings or price changes are sold, instead of sending them multiple emails throughout the day, send them one email listing all the changes. So that's the other option down here. Now, you could definitely just uncheck everything, and they would just get no alerts, and the only thing they would get is the report based on the interval you send them. Now, if you do check these, again, do it relative to the person you're sending it to. So if it's a seller that you're dealing with, not a buyer, then most likely they want to see just the just sold. Okay? They might be interested in just listed, but that's something you want to clarify with them. If they're a buyer, they definitely want to probably see all 3. So, or just these 2, just listed and price changes. So, especially the price just listed. So there's a lot of options here. You can just check or uncheck it. It uses the same criteria, and it will send them up daily reports or up-to-date real-time reports. Now, I've talked about the general report, and I mentioned the advanced one. So let's move into the advanced. But before I do that, are there any questions? None. Okay. And again, feel free to just unmute yourself and jump right in, okay? So if I hit advanced here, it will then open up all the criteria available on the MLS. So you can see right here, almost the same criteria up on top here, but now the only thing that matters in what will bring up listings is this section below where it says advanced search. Okay, so what is the criteria now for the comparables that will come up? This list here. Okay, starting from property subtype all the way down to lot square footage. I want to be very specific. This that you're seeing on the screen here is not going to be the same as what you see on yours. Mine is using the Northwest MLS as an example. Yours will be using your MLS's criteria. We try and grab every criteria possible to be the same or matching to what you have in the MLS, but it's not always perfect. So we don't always get every criteria just because we might not be able to support it. But I would say about 95% of all the criteria will be here. So what we see here, this list of areas, is directly from the MLS, and we get it up to date all the time from them. So they like to number their areas and then name it. So they have area, let's say, 89 here. For you, your areas might be in a different list. It might just be a list of names with no numbers. So going through this, the criteria is based off of everything that's entered here. Anything that I've clicked, everything that I've selected, just like your MLS searches. So one thing to learn about the advanced search is less criteria is better. Less criteria is more. With less criteria, you will end up with more comps. The more you enter, the more it narrows it down. Okay? So I just took out all the listing price, selling price, and search price options, meaning it could be any price. And when you're ready, you could go straight to the bottom. Once you filled all the criteria out, you hit generate. Okay, the same options available in on the general report and also in the advanced one. The report itself looks exactly the same. It's just what criteria are you using to bring up those comps. Now, if you are just trying things out in the beginning, if you're just starting, I would recommend if you're sending it to yourself, just hit generate. Just send it to yourself and see how it goes. But if you're sending it to customers, for the first 3 ones, I would say, hit display results. Now, let me go ahead and try this. Let me take out the zip code, and I'll just go with Graham from 100,000. And if you move your mouse over it and hold, you'll see a tooltip pop up explaining how you should enter things specifically. So if you want to go over $100,000, in this case, I just do 100,000, no commas, with a plus at the end. And I'm going to look for residential, and hopefully, just to increase my chances, I will add more areas. And let's see if that works. So if I hit display results, it's going to basically go through the MLS. Oh, looks like there was something wrong. So there might be a conflict somewhere. Oh, and I think it's because I changed the zip code. Bear with me. Oh, that's North Vancouver. That won't really work, but we'll see. Okay, I'll have to search the actual zip code. Bear with me. But basically what would happen normally is you would see it running the search. And it takes a little bit of time, maybe about 3 minutes, because it's going through your entire MLS and pulling up the results. Now, we do limit the results to about, let's see, that would work. There we go. We do limit the results to about 100 comps. I don't even need this anymore. There we go. And that should be good. So that's basically what you see. So it's going through, it's loading up the report, it's generating it, and at the end, you won't get a report, but what you'll do is you'll see all the comps that we will bring up. And I say this is only really important in the beginning, once you to get familiar with how the market snapshot works. So it's loading, it'll load for about 3 minutes, so we'll wait for that while we continue on. So back in Top Producer here, I'm still in the middle of creating a market snapshot for them. Now, what this will do is once it's generated, once I hit send on this, Scott and Tina will get a market snapshot to them. And let me show you how that looks like. Actually, I can just show you right here. Smith and John and Mary Smith, let's see here. On the bottom right corner, you can see how it looks like if I've been sending them market snapshots. So for Scott and Tina, I haven't sent them a market snapshot yet. So theirs doesn't have anything but a button to create a new snapshot. Now with John and Mary here, on the bottom right, you can see I've sent 47 snapshots. They viewed it 9 times. The last time they viewed it was about last month on the 4th. Now, what was that snapshot they viewed? I can click on this button right here called View Snapshot and see everything that basically they're seeing. So this is the report they got. Now, if I click, this is the home view. If I click on the map view here, this is what the report they got. Now, there's less than 100 comps. Now, it's because in their market, they have very few listings available. It's basically a seller's market. And that's generally happening across the entire U.S. and a lot of major cities. In Seattle especially, Vancouver as well in Canada, we just don't have enough homes for sale, basically. So in here, that's the report they're getting. It color codes everything. So there's 7 sold, 5 pendings, 2 expired, canceled ones, and 1 new for sale listing. Now I can turn off all of the other ones and see just the for sale one. You can see like that. So this 385,000 Monroe Street listing, I click on it. I can see all the details about it. Now, in this case, with the Washington board, they don't really show more than 1 photo. It's kind of strange, I understand, but for you, you will probably have way more than just 1 photo. And it will be a full-size photo, unlike this one here. So you actually will see in your listing something like this. So I'm going to go to my alerts here. So by the way, this is how a listing alert looks like, by the way. This is from a real agent in, I believe, Florida. Don't quite remember. Yes, in Florida. If I click on this, anywhere in this, the photos or the address, what will happen is it'll bring me to a page that is mobile optimized. So this is the one listing from the listing alert. When I say mobile optimized, what I mean by that is, notice how I'm shrinking the screen and it's actually resizing everything to fit. With a non-mobile optimized web page, which a lot of web pages out there are like, it won't do this. So for those people that are looking at their reports on their phone, they'll have to pinch and zoom and everything will just be very tiny for them and hard to read. Mobile optimized web pages are made not just for computers, but tablets, phones of various sizes. Notice here, again, I resize it. It's resizing as I change the screen size. So this is a tablet view, most likely. This is the computer view. So back to the computer view here. If I'm on a tablet or a phone or anything like that, I can swipe across these images and it'll load the next image. Very nice home. And I scroll down, I'll see all the information you normally can get from the MLS in here. And all of this is in a very easy to read, very easy to understand format. You can see right here is a price change alert. It went from $249,000 to $269,000. The price went up. So very good market for them right now. And if you go down here, we also have schools nearby. And we also have a comparison of similar homes in the zip code. So we cover the zip code in this case, not their criteria. So it's not always 100% accurate, but in some cases for certain zip codes, it is. Now on the left-hand side, property features here, it is exactly what you have on the MLS. Formatted to be easy to read and understand. Again, if I minimize this to the mobile size, the same information is there, it's just easy to read on a phone instead. And again, I can swipe through the images. Of course, I can't really show you the swiping part on my computer because I'm on a phone, on a computer. So, any questions so far about these alerts? And by the way, the display is done. So when I did that, I ran that search. These are how many comps will come up. So I found 100 homes for sale in this area. And it's because I only put a listing price. So that basically is another way of limiting your search, so that basically it only brings up certain types of listings, or ones that are not sold, or ones that are only sold. So in this case, I only put in a list price in my search, therefore it only brought me listings. So you can change your alerts like that if that's what you want, and you can get more comps that cover that specific range. Now in this case, you can see 2+ bedrooms, 0 to 99 bathrooms, homes near this zip code, and with the rest of your criteria. So in this case, I probably covered all of Puyallup. And you can see there's a missing area here. Those are the areas I didn't check off. So this should be familiar to you. This should be how your MLS searches for things. Now, if this looks good to you, if there's enough comps or the area looks right to you, you just hit generate and off it goes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit generate actually. And off it goes. It's going to be sent to Scott and Tina at nowhere.com. Now back in Top Producer, if I go to Scott and Tina, let me refresh my homepage here. Since I opened Scott and Tina just recently, they should be in my recently opened contacts. So here they are, Scott and Tina Robinson, or Scott Aker and Tina Robinson. I click on their contact record. I go back in their record. In just a bit after it's done generating, again, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 15 maximum. You will see that update here. Just like John Smith, you'll see that you sent one snapshot to them and basically whether they viewed it or not. So if I go back here, if I refresh, hasn't sent it yet. But this is a great time to actually show you another part. So while we wait for that to update, because it's still generating the snapshot, let me go back into Market Snapshot's control panel. So I go to Market Snapshot here, under Applications, and I have the Snapshot control panel pop up. So the Snapshot control panel is dealing with just the snapshots. Now, what do I mean by just the snapshots? What I mean is it's only dealing with the reports that are going out. That's what the Snapshot control panel generally is for, and it has a lot of good information in here. So what I showed you was finding information on one contact, Scott and Tina here. What you can do is actually look at your statistics of your reports. So under Market Snapshot here in the dashboard, there's another button on the top called Market Snapshot. If I move my mouse over it and go to Status Report, I'll be able to see the latest snapshots in a chronological order. So the one I just sent today, Scott and Tina at nowhere.com, that's the one I just sent out. Now its status is sent, so if I go back to Top Producer, if I refresh now, it should update and show me. There we go. So on the bottom right corner, Market Snapshot Summary for Scott and Tina here. Number of snapshots sent, 1. How many times have they viewed it? 0. So therefore, we don't give you a time of when they viewed it because they've never viewed it. If I click on View Snapshot here, I will see the exact snapshot they just got. Now, me clicking and opening it will not count as viewing it, so that number will not change. So this is the snapshot they got. If I go to the map view, it should correlate with, there we go, that list of properties that I saw earlier. Now, in this case, you can see new for sale, pending, expired, canceled. There's no sold here. Remember that. I took that out. So I can see the new for sales. Again, I can eliminate the other ones and see, okay, this area has a lot of new for sale. I take basically and switch it to the expired, canceled ones. It's the same area. So there's a lot of activity happening in this area here. So I can click again on any of these listings. It'll show me that property. Or I can click on home here and view it the other way, which gives you some statistics about that criteria, okay? So I can see the average asking price, the average sold price, the average days on market, and the homes for sale. Like I said, this is a market report. It's a market snapshot of the area they're looking at. So these are the questions that they're normally going to have. So in this case, we even say it looks like it's a seller's market based on the homes for sale numbers. So if I click on this number here, it'll actually show me the statistics specifically. There's been 759 new listings, 518 sold listings. There's been a 50% decrease in inventory in the last 3 months. And that number's been pretty steady for their market. It's every month they're getting less and less listings. So you can see right here, months of inventory left. They only have 2.3 months left of inventory. So I'm going to pause right here. Anybody have any questions about what I've shown you so far? Nope. Okay, and remember, if I'm not ignoring your question. If I don't hear it, if you don't unmute yourself, I can't hear it. So going back to the Market Snapshot control panel. So again, I'm in the control panel. I'm in the dashboard of the Market Snapshot. I went to the Market Snapshot status report. In here, like I said, it's showing you everything in chronological order. Every single report that you've ever generated for somebody is going to be listed in here. And you can see all of them have a status of sent. How many times have they viewed it? You'll see it in here too. Now let me knock back the date by about a year and reload this report. So in here, basically, you'll see exactly the range of dates that you want to see. So you can see all of last month. Now mine's not a great example here. This is my account. And because I keep sending it to people that don't exist, nobody views it. You will be able to do better. We have customers, and this is some best practices from customers that use this a lot. They actually come in here, they limit this search to last month, let's say, and they limit the views, the order of this by views. So they click on the number of views here, and it would actually basically show from ascending or descending values the number of people that have, number of times they viewed it down. So the maximum number, the highest number, down. So that would be a perfect list to follow up with these people if they are prospects. Now, if you're seeing a huge number of views by a past client, well, that would trigger to me that I should probably call them and see how they're doing. So that list of number of views, that's a really good number to reach out to because that's your basically top 10 people that are viewing your market snapshots. Now, if you're sending it out to your entire database, you might have a lot of people that are viewing the snapshots, which is great. You have a bigger list to go through. So you just come into the Market Snapshot Control Panel under Applications, and you'll be able to go and do that yourself. Now, that's something you'll be doing more further in the future when you actually are sending these snapshots out, and especially to a larger group. The goal of Market Snapshot is not really to send it to an elite few in your database. You're wanting to send this pretty much to everybody. No matter they're a past client or a new lead or a prospect that you've been working for a while, everyone that's in your database is interested in real estate in some way. Either they're looking to buy or they're looking to sell. So why not provide that information? That's why you got that Market Snapshot. It also makes your life easy because you're not creating comps for every single person that's asking for it. You can send them a Market Snapshot, see if they're even looking at that before deciding to send them comparable CMA, which, by the way, Top Producer does also have access to in terms of marketing. We can create CMAs. Okay, so any questions so far about how to use this and such? No? Okay. So now I'm going to really show you some of the cool tools in Market Snapshot. So most of those are found under Applications. Now, under Applications, you can see there's FireStreet, TigerLead, Resio, Market Snapshot, IDX. This is just listing pretty much all the tools that we have at our fingertips. Now, the first 5 you would have to pay for. Okay, FireStreet is a separate program. TigerLead is a separate program. Now, that's the first 5. Everything below that is free, but sometimes you need the corresponding product. But in case, since you have Market Snapshot, pretty much all of them are free for your use. So starting from the 6th item in the list, Top Producer Tools. If I click on this, it brings me to a new page, and it'll just kind of scan through these 3 pages here, or 3 previews. And what I'm going to talk about are these 3 tools on the bottom, which correspond with those slides. So these 3 tools on the bottom start with the Quick Lead Widget Creator. The middle one is Quick Snapshot Widget Creator, and the third one is Professional Landing Pages. And that's the one right here on this page right here. So the Professional Landing Pages looks like this. Now, better yet, I'm going to show you. So let me go and create a landing page. So here we are. I'm signed in. And it asked me 2 simple questions. What is the page title? And enter a description. And I hit generate. When I do that, it just generated a brand new landing page that I can use. Now let's see, because I didn't enter any title, it defaulted to the general one, which is what's your home worth? Now these are landing pages for you. So we just generated one using your information, your Market Snapshot. You can see your information is on the bottom there. And what you can do is take this web page and load up a domain with it. So what do I mean by domain? I mean, let's say LukeSellsHomes.com, or better yet, LukeSellsDenver.com, or even better than that, DenverHomeValues.com. Okay, I'm using Denver as an example. You can use whatever area you think would be popular with searches. And what will happen is people can actually go to, DenverHomeValues.com, and they can go to this landing page, enter their information, and get exactly what their home's worth. Now, it's not saying we're promising them a CMA or an estimate. It's not even a Zestimate. We're not going that far. What we do is we send them a market snapshot so they know what the market is like in their area. Now, if you don't like this messaging, this is just the default. You can change it to anything you'd like find out what your neighbor's house sold for. And I hit generate now. I have a new report. And that's the new title. Find out what your neighbor's house sold for. And I just enter my credentials. So, Luke at luke.com. And I just can type in any address, and it will actually do a partial search right away. So, for example, 123 Main Street is showing me Vancouver, Winnipeg, Patterson. Basically, whatever address you type in there, it'll autofill it depending on what you're typing as you type it. Let's say Vancouver. There we go. I can pick Vancouver and hit get your free report. We know how many bedrooms that property has. We know how many bathrooms that one has. We can just automatically fill in the rest for them. And that then gets entered as a lead directly in your Top Producer. They're already getting a market snapshot because they hit get your free report. And all you have to do is just follow up. So by the time they're in your pipeline, you click on them, you can actually see all their information, including, hopefully by then, their market snapshot, what they requested. And you can actually call them and have actually something in their hands that has already been sent to them that you can see on your end as well. So that's one of the tools available to you as well if you have Market Snapshot are these landing pages. Now, the other tool that was on the same page is the ability to create a widget. So what that widget looks like is something like this. It's a form that you can put in your web page. Now, the other one was a page by itself, but inside your own web pages, you can actually have this form added, and that can generate a market snapshot as well. So both of these are for basically lead capture. Okay, so let me close that out. So that was the Top Producer Tools page. I'm not going to talk about the lead widget creator. That's more towards Top Producer users, although you could use that too. Now, under Applications again, we talked about Top Producer Tools. The next item is not really related to Market Snapshot, but I do highly, highly recommend you go through it. It is really to help you set your goals in terms of your business. Now, when I say setting your goals in your business, I mean, to be honest, how much do you want to make this year? And if that is your goal, we have this tool here called Goal Setting that will take that number and break it down for you in terms of how you achieve your goal. We give you a plan. And if you want to achieve your goal, basically follow the plan. So Goal Setting is a free tool as well. You click on it, it will bring you to a page which basically will ask you a few questions. And let me reload that. So might be having a slight issue with it, but let me just try this. Okay, so it seems like my computer might be blocking that page. So let me double check that with our engineering team, but I do still highly recommend it. It might be having a problem right now though. So continuing on, we have the QR builder. So if I click on this, this will actually show you a tool that we've made that generates mobile listing pages. Now I'm actually not going to go through it, but you can see on the left here that basically is how it looks like. So it generates a QR code. So it's not going to be in the mobile web page, but what that QR code that we generate does is it goes to a mobilized web page made just for your listing. Okay, so when they scan this QR code, let's say you put it on your lawn sign or you put it on your flyers, they can just take their phone, scan it, and they'll be directed to the mobile web page where they can fill out any questions they have. So they can actually say, I'd like to request a showing, or they can actually ask for a market snapshot of that home right from within the QR builder. Now, what the QR mobile also does is it also generates flyers and postcards for you. So that's something that gets missed a lot. Is a lot of people don't notice that function of generating a template for you to just print out flyers or template for you to print out postcards. Again, I'm not going to go through this, but I want to make sure that you're aware of it. And going through it is very easy. It's just 3 steps, but the first step is something I can't complete, which is I don't have an agent MLS ID credential. So you can go through that right away if you have that available to you. So under Applications again, we're back in Top Producer. This is one of the best tools out there, the Bright Open tool. Now this tool I'm going to try and show you. Now I'm going to have to ask for a volunteer in this case. Does anybody have their MLS credentials? Or sorry, does anybody have their Market Snapshot credentials right now? Nobody. So nobody has any Market Snapshot logins currently right now. Would that be correct?
I don't think any of us do because we've always ran it through one person's name before this. So we're just now to the point of setting them up for each agent. So I don't think any of us do.
Okay, I understand. So just bear with me for 1 second. If it's okay with you, Brian, I'm going to use your account as the guinea pig one. Would that be okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So bear with me. I'm actually going to look up your credentials right now and see if I can get that to you or show it on the screen. So bear with me. Okay, I have your account in front of me now. So I just need to get the login for that one. Now, Brian, I'm also going to need your MLS credentials as well. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, bear with me. Okay, so Brian, I'm going to go in right now. I have your Market Snapshot credentials. I'll have that emailed to you afterwards. I'm not going to show it on the screen. But could I get your MLS board?
My
Yeah, your MLS board.
the board.
Yes, the name of the board.
SCKL. What is it, guys? It's South Central.
It is your MLS login.
Is it Wichita?
What's the name of the board?
Is it Wichita?
Wichita Area Association of Realtors.
So we might just call it Wichita.
South Central Kansas.
South Central, yeah.
Okay, so that might be the name of the board, but I have a feeling it's this. So in our system, we might just name it Wichita.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Could I get your MLS ID?
My login is BRUNDBRI.
Okay, so I'm going to try that. It'll validate right away whether or not it will work. So it looks like it works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just fill in your Market Snapshot login information here and connect that up for you. So I basically, because you were volunteering your account, we have it all hooked up now. So you're set up. Next time you want to use the Bright Open tool, all you need to do is choose Wichita, enter your MLS ID, and you're going to be in already. And where you'll be will be this page right here. Now, here is your options as soon as you get in. So you can look at your listings or search for listings. The Bright Open tool is for open houses. Now, question to all of you, anybody here not do open houses? I'm guessing everyone does open houses, correct?
Actually, none. We just list. This group is just the listing agents, so none of us do open houses. We have buyers agents who do those.
Ah, okay. So this might be something you might want to have your buyer's agents do, or you might want to let them know about. Now, the reason being, this replaces the sign-in sheet for most of the open houses. And the reason being is the sign-in sheets just generally don't work. 50% of the time, you'll be getting fake emails or fake phone numbers. And it's because the people that walk in and sign in, they're not seeing value in giving you their information. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
So for right away, I'm going to click on My Listings. And if you have listings right now, there we go. You have 10 under your name. I can click Select Listing, and I'll be basically doing an open house for this listing. But loaded on my tablet, or in your case, your buyer's agent's tablet, will be this page where they can basically generate leads or have people fill out their information, and they would get a market snapshot.
So would they need to run this underneath my login? Would that be the only way they'd have access to these listings?
Yes, but like I said, we've already set up this. We've already set up the account. What we just went through, where we had step 1, step 2, step 3. They don't need your Market Snapshot credentials. They just need your MLS ones, which I think is pretty standard from your MLS.
No, that's not my question. Is if they cannot do this through their top producer account, if they have one, they can't pull up my listing. They have to essentially get into my Bright Open in order to be able to do.
They can. If they have market snapshots as well, do they?
I don't believe they currently do, but I'm just asking.
Okay, so one thing is this tool, Bright Open, works whether or not you have Market Snapshot, but you do at least have to have Top Producer.
Okay.
Okay?
They do Top Producer, I believe.
Good. So where it asked for MLS credentials, or sorry, not MLS credentials, but Top Producer credentials, there was Market Snapshot or Top Producer. So they can fill in Top Producer, and if they're doing a listing that's not theirs and it's yours, for example, they can search for it. So let me just look up Gray Meadows, okay, or Texas Circle. Let's try that one. So if I am the buyer's agent and I don't have any listings under my listings, I go to search for listings, and I can look it up, basically. I'm guessing it's in Wichita. Kansas. Search. There we go. So here's your listing. I look it up. I hit select listing, and I'm basically doing an open house for your listing if I'm the buyer's agent. And this could go into the buyer's agent's Top Producer instead.
That was my question. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So it can either go to your Top Producer and your Market Snapshot or just their Top Producer. Now, if they don't have Market Snapshot, then they can't really promise a Market Snapshot. So the message here will change if you only set up a Top Producer. It won't have a see sample report option here. If they have Market Snapshot, then better, because by the time they even see the second floor or the backyard, they will have gotten an email in their phone with a Market Snapshot. So having Market Snapshot would be a boon to them if they're doing open houses, because they will get a lot of real emails. You'll even know if they gave you a real email, because by the time they leave the house, if you check if they got the Market Snapshot, if they say they didn't, they probably didn't give you the right email. So this is something to kind of maximize on every potential person that walks into the house. And they see value instantly, because you're not just promising them property alerts. You're sending them a report about the area they're interested in. Not just this house, but the area they're interested in. Because they could be a neighbor that would be interested in the neighborhood home value. Or they could be someone that drove by the area, meaning they're interested in that area, not that specific open house, although they're in the house. So, or they could be people online that went and looked at that specific house, meaning they must be interested in that area as well. So a Market Snapshot covers that specific area, and it could range depending on, that area, how big it is. So, any questions about this, the Bright Open tool? Okay, no. So for Brian, you're set up already. Next time you want to go to the Bright Open, you can go to Applications, Bright Open. Let's see if it's going to ask me. If I go to Bright Open, it's going to ask you to sign in. You enter your MLS credentials. It should skip step 2 and go straight to step 3 and basically go to your listings. And again, this is all designed to be loaded on a tablet or an iPad mini, something with a nice and big screen to show your clients so that they can just type in their information. Usually you don't want to load this on your phone, although you can. Okay, so at this point right now, we're actually just on time. We have an hour and a half usually to account for questions. But at this point right now, we've gone through the basics of the Market Snapshot. Does anybody have any questions about anything I've talked about so far? No? Okay, so let's see here. So we're back in the Market Snapshot control panel. Now, if you want to get a little bit more advanced, and I only recommend this after you've started using the Market Snapshot. So after you set up the snapshot, set it up to connect the Top Producer, then you may want to consider, after you start sending a few of them out, you may want to consider going back into the dashboard and actually looking at the setup portion. In the setup portion, you actually can adjust a lot of the Market Snapshot further. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the Market Snapshot not only sends that report, but it sends it in an email. So how does that email look like? You click on Market Snapshot Email Text Customization. You can see how it looks like. And we have 3 different emails you can see, and each of them looks different. Okay, so that's all in here. Another option is your Market Snapshot settings. Remember earlier before I showed you that you can change how they're sent out, whether or not the defaults are just listed, price change, and just sold. In my case, I have it all checked. So every time I generate a snapshot, these 3 are already checked automatically. If you find that you don't want to accidentally start sending them just alerts and start bombarding them, then you can uncheck all 3, hit save, and from now on, when you generate market snapshots, it will not automatically check it. We also, as part of what we do, send you a weekly summary too. So we do what I mentioned earlier. We look at your market snapshots. We look at every week, and we see we send you your top 3 viewers basically. So we remind you, hey, these people have viewed the snapshots 26 times, 20 times, and 23 times. So that's your top 3 right there. So who should you call? Probably those 3 people, because if they're viewing it 23 times themselves, then they're really interested. Most likely they're sending it and forwarding it to their friends and family, so everyone's looking at it. So if you're getting people that are viewing it 23 times. And there's other settings in here to kind of adjust the market snapshot, customize it a little bit to your tastes. If you want to go through the setup and adjust your profile, then under setup there is agent profile. That brings you to the first step of the setup wizard, and you can readjust things in here. So if you want to add, for example, Facebook and Twitter, you can click Edit here. Add in Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these links, including your own website. Whatever you have filled in, we will put a link to it. Now, we also let you identify where you want to get your emails from. So if someone signs up as a lead, do you want to get an email, and is it to a different email? So I uncheck that. I hit save. That will just change things internally. Externally to the customer, nothing changes. If you don't like the color of your market snapshot, you can also change that as well. So if I click on red here, here's the red version, really bright red. I hope that's red. I'm a little colorblind, so I can't really tell. Here's a little baby blue version and the blue that I was using before. So choose your color, choose your theme. It's all in here. And, ooh, there's a green one. And when you're done, you just hit close, and that'll save that right there. So my market snapshots from now on will look red. Okay, so that's all under setup. And again, you probably will not have to deal with the inquiry section. I'm briefly just going to describe it. If you do generate leads, like that landing page I talked about earlier, they will come in. They'll come into Market Snapshot. They'll be considered what we call an inquiry. So a lead equals inquiry. That's what it means. Now, because you have set it up to connect to Top Producer, as soon as a lead comes in from a Market Snapshot landing page, it will come directly into Top Producer. And Top Producer will alert you if you need to follow up with that lead, basically. So like I said, that lead will be here. They will have already gotten a Market Snapshot. You'll see it right here on the bottom right, and you'll be able to contact them and reach out to them from here. The mobile version of Top Producer also allows all of that as well. So I'm loading up the mobile version of Top Producer. I can go to Joe Buyer here, hit Take Action, and send them a Market Snapshot. Now let me find someone that's better. Joe Kong. Hit Take Action, send a Market Snapshot here, and basically it gives you the general form for the Market Snapshot. Now on the mobile version, it doesn't give you the advanced page. If you want that, you should be on the desktop version, basically. But you'll be able to send a simple Market Snapshot right from your phone if you need to. If you do need to send an advanced one, we have the desktop button right here on the bottom. That'll let you into the desktop version of Top Producer and allow you to send advanced ones if you need it. So that's all right here, as well as on the follow-up coach. in Top Producer Mobile. So if I click on Follow Up Coach here, hit Take Action, send a market snapshot, same thing happens. So we treat this as a follow-up at that point. So instead of just sending them emails and calling them and sending them emails and calling them, you send them a market snapshot to kind of mix things up. You have an additional tool now, basically. You're not forced to just send them messages or texts or emails or calls. You can send them a market report because, hey, they sounded like they were interested in that market specifically. So this is an additional tool and another way of communicating to them, and it does it automatically for forever, basically. So as long as they're getting market snapshots, they'll continue to get market snapshots for the foreseeable future. Okay, so any questions about anything I've talked about so far? Sorry, was that a question? No? Okay. So, and again, feel free to unmute yourselves so I can hear your question. If I haven't heard anything, I haven't heard a question, it's because I can't hear it. So at this point right now, that's the training or the quick run through of the market snapshot. Unless there's questions, I guess we can at this point kind of end it right here.
Hey, Jason, is the market snapshot available to create on my phone?
Yes. So this is the mobile version of Top Producer. You see this right here, right?
All right, yeah, I've got that. I've had Top Producer back before it was online, even before the internet.
Oh, perfect. Now, you do have the latest version now though, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I had like 1i or something.
Okay. Well, yeah. Top Producer 1, the version that had a green, was it black screen, green text, and on floppy disks.
Yes, I remember.
So the new version that you're seeing right here, the mobile Top Producer, is not a new version. It's just another way of accessing your database. So you're seeing right here, if I click on contacts, I go to any of my contacts, let's say Virgil and Tanya here. I hit Take Action, or I scroll to the bottom. There's a button called Send a Market Snapshot here. Mm-hmm. So does that answer your question about sending it on the phone?
Yeah, that's perfect. I didn't know that. I've got 2 Top Producer sites, and I was gonna see about getting it on my other one to make it simple.
There you go.
But okay, got it. Good information, Jason.
No problem. Now, another tip while we're on the mobile, by the way, is there's this button that's not available on the computer called Add Photo. If you ever walk into a listing presentation or you're walking out of a listing presentation, one tip I would recommend is quickly turn around, have your Top Producer open, hit the Add Photo, and save a photo of that person's house in your photos. Okay. Now, why do I recommend that? It's because if you do that, it helps jog your memory whenever you bring that person's photo up. Now, it's kind of weird for someone that you just met or someone that you've been talking to suddenly ask for a selfie with them or take a picture of them. So it's easier just take a picture of their house. And that might be able to help jog your memory when you think of them.
That's awesome. Where do you come up with this stuff? That's a pretty good idea.
From experience. Some of these tips are not my own, and I just kind of take them as my own.
Gotcha.
That one, though, wasn't an original, so I can say proudly that's mine.
That's good. Well, I think we've got here in Wichita.
Any other questions as well?
Nope, not for now.
Okay, so I know you're all kind of itching to get started with Market Snapshot, so I'm not going to hold you back. I'm going to, unless there's other questions, I would love to answer questions. But if there's no questions, I'm going to basically start getting your login sent out to you. Now, did everyone get Market Snapshot? Can I ask?
Yeah, I mean, I can get the login. I just need my information.
Okay, so I just want to confirm, but I believe everyone had to get it on their own. I believe I'm not 100% sure. I'll double check. But if it might be the case that you didn't get a login because you didn't get Market Snapshot on your own.
We do. We have it set up on our own for each agent.
Okay, perfect. So I'll just make sure that all of you have your logins then. I'll just resend the logins. And just look for an email from top producer or top marketer.
Gotcha. Cool stuff, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
No
Got it,
problem.
man.
Now, before we end this, let me just throw my information on the screen. And I want you to, if you have problems with your logins, like at the end of this day you still haven't gotten your email, send me an email, okay? And I'll see what's happening. Maybe we have the wrong email for you. So I would recommend email, but I'm going to throw my phone number on there just in case too. So can everyone see that on the screen?
Sure.
Yes. How do you say that last name?
I would just say NG. That's usually easier.
Okay. I didn't know how you said that, but okay.
So just email me. The move.com is because Top Producer is owned by Move, Inc. So I just use the Move email because it's much shorter than topproducer.com.
All right.
So send me an email. Hopefully by the end of this day, before the end of this day is over, you'll have your login credentials sent to you. If not, just send me an email and or ask me any questions if you'd like as well.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Okay, last item. On the top right corner of your Top Producer is something called Online Support. If I click on that, it brings you to the Top Producer support page, which also is the Market Snapshot support page. So, and also brings up the live chat to our support team. So if you want to chat with someone on the computer about Market Snapshot or even Top Producer, you can come in here, talk to the live chat. And that is actually a live person. Liam literally, well, sits maybe about 20 cubicles away, but he's in the office. Or you can search for your question, how, like, for example, how to create a market snapshot. If I search for that, it's going to go through our entire database. And here you go. There's an FAQ on how to use the market snapshot, snapshot video tutorials. If I click on that, it'll bring me to a page which has a lot of videos stepping you through how the market snapshot works. So that portion I skipped over about the setup, it's all in here. The setup wizard walks you through it. How to set up your agent profile, how to use the market snapshot. All videos are in here. So you just click on any of the videos you're interested in, just click on it, and it'll show you that video. In addition to that, like I said, there's written guides, step by step with pictures. This is just an FAQ, but let's see. If I click on create a new snapshot here, this one will walk you through it piece by piece, one step at a time. Okay, so like I said, you don't have to take extensive notes. It's all online. It's all there available to you. Okay, and I've recorded today's session too, so if you want to review it, I'll send it out after basically it's done recording. So it takes a little bit of time. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, well, it's been a great session. You all were great. If you do have any questions, feel free to call me or email me. And I guess we're going to end the session today at that.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Have a great week, everyone, okay? Or a great weekend.
You too. You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.